Welcome to our last episode on this series on Guide for Life, our first playlist, which is fundamentals for living life. And on this last episode, I want to address one last topic, and that is finding your calling in life. Finding your calling in life. And I want to do that with giving you a couple of points to that would be essential to get you in the path to, finding that calling that God has for you, or if you're still seeking and looking for what place God has in your life, and you haven't looked at our previous videos to kind of work through that, this will still be helpful for you to understand, kind of your purpose in life and what you were designed to do. So the first point is you need to know yourself. You need to know yourself. I remember growing up and thinking I was, that one question we all get, right? What are you going to do when you grow up? And I had so many ideas of that. But none of them really came to fruition. And I know there's people out there that will tell you like, oh, this person was born and they knew what they were going to do from the moment they were born. That is probably a rarity. And usually what happened for those people is there was someone there that guided them and helped them and could tell them what they were seeing in them and help them self-discover who they were. Anyways, so know yourself. So how do you know yourself? Well, I would suggest a couple of tools is take a personality test, understand what personality kind of has been embedded in you. And I don't want to get into the whole nurture versus nature, but there's some fundamental traits of you of how I would say God designed you and knitted you in the womb that are just going to carry through. You can be more of an introvert than an extrovert. You can be more of a public speaker than more of an analytical person, or vice versa. So take just a personality test and let that be your first step to kind of begin that journey of understanding who you are. Now, if you're a Christian, I would say, do this with much prayer. Begin asking God to show you how He made you. Look for counsel in your church. Ask people who are older and who have really been influential in building others, and ask them to maybe come alongside you and begin to help you in that process of discerning who God made you to be. So do that. Take a personality test. Then next to that, think about those things that you're good at. Write down a list of things that you are good at and that you enjoy. And then, begin to develop that list as the time goes by. And as you mature in different seasons of life, there should be something consistent of what you enjoy, what you like. For me, for example, leadership was becoming evident for me. As a Christian, as God began to put me in places where I would see that it was always in leadership positions, He was developing me. And one way to know that is, a lot of work is really what I would say is going to be hard. I know there's a saying out there that if you love what you do, you will never work a day. But if I look at the Bible says that work has been cursed because of the sin, and that it's actually going to be painful for us. But God is redeeming that through His Son Jesus Christ and through our life in Him. So what I would say is a more balanced view of that is the 65-35%. What I mean by that is that 65% of your work should be enjoyable. You should enjoy that. But then there's going to be always that 35% that you just have to do, and it's not enjoyable, but it's part of doing work, part of that toil. So I would say for a sweet spot where you're at, if you're wherever you're at and your 65% is becoming 50 and then 40, then you're probably in an unhealthy place for you and for that place you're working at. You want to be at a place that is at least 65% where you're enjoying that, so that you can thrive. So that you can thrive, and so that the work that you're doing can thrive as well. So, get your personality test, then write down a list of things that you enjoy, that you really are passionate about, and things that you're good at. And then see how those merge together. And then you'll find, if you're familiar with the Venn diagram, you'll find that spot in the middle where where the two merge, and then you're probably in a good ground there to start learning more about yourself and how I would say God created you. Number two is try things. You know, you're not the best way sometimes to learning what you love and who you were made to be is actually stepping up into the plate and you know, swinging the bat. As once I heard said, you know, you can never step up and stay in the bench the whole time, and you would never strike out, but you would also never hit a home run. So, you know, just try new things. For Christians, I would say go and talk to your pastors, your leadership, and ask to serve in a place that, you know, after you've done the first principle I told you about, you can begin to, you know, get in there and see if that's really where you fit. So go out and then just try things. If you're not a Christian, I would say, you know, do your homework on learning who you are from what I said in the first principle, and then look to plug in and volunteer somewhere. I would say go to a church. They would love for you to come in and just volunteer, help out. Let them help you figure out some fits for you, or even in a community. Number three is get some mentorship. This has been crucial for my life. I've always had mentors in my life from the moment when I became a Christian. And even before that, I was kind of reluctant to it. I was kind of proud about it. And I just had a bad attitude. But, you know, by God's grace, I was saved and He changed me. And then He showed me that I needed mentors in my life. And they have been so essential in my life because these people have done this. They have walked through it. And they care about you, and you want to look for a mentor that does three things. One, cares about you and about your growth. Number two, that has some seasoned experience and fruit of that experience in his life that you can tell. And number three, you want to make sure you're careful that they're people of character and integrity, because you tend to take on the traits of your mentors. So I would say that look for a mentor and ask them to help you as you go in this journey. And then you will find where you're at. And then you will be able to go to a place where you're going to flourish, because you're going to be a good fit for the place, and it's going to be a good fit for you. And you're going to be doing what you enjoy 65% of the time. And you're going to be able to thrive because you're going to have passion and desire to flourish in that. And I would say ultimately, you know, whether you're Christian or not, the ultimate goal of anything is what Paul tells us is whatever you do, whether you eat or drink or work or play. And I'm adding to it here a little bit of paraphrase, but he says, whatever you do, whether you eat or drink, do it to the glory of God. Your motives are going to be essential. If your motive is fame, power, or fortune, you know, those things will only lead you to what I would call empty cisterns of stagnant water. They would not satisfy your soul. They would not produce flourishing in you. You may have all those physical things, but inwardly you're going to be lacking. That hole that Ecclesiastes says that every man longs for eternity. And the only way that you find that pleasure, that real fulfillment and that real blessing is when you're doing it for God's glory. And that means that you're following after Him, and God is the one being exalted through your work, and He's getting the fame, not you. And He is the one that is in display for the world to see His beauty and His mercy and grace and goodness and even His holiness as He uses us, broken vessels, to shine His light through us. So with that, keep that in mind. Know yourself, try, find yourself a mentor. Do those three things, and I think you will be in a good start to finding out what you're calling in life. Until the next episode, stay blessed. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.